You know, it's rather a curious thing, and I'm sure you've seen this in other people, and maybe you've been guilty of it yourself. I know in the past I have. What are we talking about? Something that we disbelieve. Well, that's what we say we do. We know that the status quo that we are taking here is wrong. And yet, rather than admit that we're wrong, we get more adamant about it. It is absolutely crucial that you see their side of the argument, even though they know deep inside that they are wrong. And it just bothers the hell out of them because they don't want to give up that pseudo-belief for the truth. So they'll tell you proudly that they stand against the very notion of God, the very notion of Jesus Christ. They are an atheist, and you can't take that right away from them. Trust me, I don't want to take anything away from an atheist. They're already plowing ground that just goes uphill. They got enough trouble. They don't need me, camping at their doorstep trying to convince them otherwise. Atheists. Curious breed. Atheists. You ever notice how angry they are and how adamant they are to get you to see their side of the argument? And they'll just go on and on forever. And again, they know that they are wrong. They also know that deep inside of them, there's an empty spot that's just gnawing away at them. And they hate that. And they hate themselves for having it. And so to compensate for this deficit, this lack of wholeness, if you will, they rail against God on a daily basis. They take great pride in themselves for doing so, all the while knowing that deep inside they are wrong. Do you consider yourself to be an atheist? I'm not trying to pour water on you because you're drowning in disbelief here, but I find that to be fascinating. I really do. I mean, the very crux of who we all are. We're spiritual before anything else. The physical side of who we are, hell, we're gone before we even get here almost. But the spiritual side of who we are goes on forever. But goes on where? That's the key. That's the rub. And when you're talking to a committed atheist, they are anything but rational. Just mention the word God and boom, they're off and running. And they'll just talk to you until their tongue dries out and falls out of their mouth. And in the end, they've done nothing but a disservice to themselves. That's the saddest part. They're not really hurting anyone else but themselves. And to make matters worse, to make them angrier still, they realize that that is really what's going on. And in the quiet of their own mind, when they're alone and they're home, sitting at the table, that truly must be a miserable place to be, all by themselves with their misconstructed notion of the truth. While you still can, while you can still get this done, accept and believe Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Become one of Jesus Christ's own while you still can. And don't put this off, because tomorrow is not guaranteed to anyone. Until next time, this is Stephen. Talk to you when the wind shifts. See ya. Bye.